Hi, my name's Keith Cooper of Northlight Images. I do a lot of printing. I print digitally these days. I used to have a darkroom many years ago, but somebody asked me the other day, what is the darkroom look in papers? You see papers advertised as having a darkroom look to them. Now this comes in the category of pointless marketing guff that means very little. You need to know who it's aimed at, why it's aimed at people, and then you can safely ignore it. Now, remember, paper marketing is aimed at an audience. When you see people saying how nice a paper feels, oh yes, this one here is nice and thick. This is good thick paper. Who looking at your pictures is ever going to pick up a print and do this? So remember that the marketing is aimed at the people who make the prints, not the people who ever see them. The people who see them really don't care what paper you've used most of the time. Yeah, it may mean a lot to you, but people looking at it, don't fool yourself. Anyway, the darkroom look. Now, there's a slight problem here in that very few people who are likely to be using such papers have up-to-date knowledge of working in a darkroom. They've either never used a darkroom or, like myself, used a darkroom so long ago that all I could vaguely remember is that when I get a paper, this is a luster paper and it has a slightly plasticky feel to it, I think, this reminds me of the old resin coated type papers. Does the look of this black and white picture remind me of a darkroom look at all? No, not in the slightest. So remember that the darkroom look is something that is purely invented. The number of people still using a darkroom is not that great, and I'm told, because I was never a great user of the darkroom, that the number of papers available these days is not a patch on what used to be available. Of course, when you talk to people about it, you'll find that papers those days were of much more variable quality. People used to mix their own developers, all sorts of things like that. But we've gone back 60, 70, 80 years for things like that. I last used a darkroom around the turn of the century, and that was just for black and white. Now, black and white, I edit digitally. I print digitally. I do quite a bit of black and white, not commercially, unfortunately, because very few commercial clients actually go, I want this shooting in black and white. Doesn't happen. But anyway, so that's it. There is one other marketing group that this is aimed at, and I call it the Resurgence of Film group. If you've never used film, great, go for it, try it. If you've never used a darkroom and you get an opportunity, great, try it. However, marketing sees an opportunity here. People who have, let's say, used film, had their film scanned, and rather than getting printed in a darkroom, want to print it digitally. That's fine. You'll get the grain, you'll get all the look of it and things like that. The problem I have is when there's an implication that using one of these papers gives you a degree of added authenticity. Anytime I see authenticity mentioned in something, I'm deeply suspicious. So this comes under the category of pointless marketing guff that you can safely ignore. There are some great papers available. These are papers for inkjet printers. They are not papers for giclée prints, another pointless marketing term that irritates me. But anyway, there you go. If you're going to print on these papers, get a paper you like, get a paper and learn how to use the printer. I quickly surpassed what I could do in a darkroom many years ago in terms of digital printing, and it's why I do a lot of what I do. So there you go. Just a quick sort of mild annoyance for me. Yeah, marketing. Yeah, it's there. Just take care of it. Anyway. If you've got any questions, let me know. Bye.